All right, so I'm back to talk about some lame nonsense in Connecticut again. Whoops. As we know, Trump had the whole campaign promise that he said he was going to offer no tax on tips or overtime. And I think when the big beautiful bill passed, those provisions were in there, which means that should be a thing now. Well, apparently, it says, I see a thing. I know this is just like a general overview, but it says Connecticut Democrats vote no on no tax on tips and overtime. I did see a more full article rather than just a screenshot. This just worked good for a visual to put as a background while I talk. But this is just ridiculous. First off, why would you vote no on this? No tax on overtime and tips? Sure, maybe because, politicians don't get tips. And, I mean, you kind of work overtime in a way. You technically are constantly working. But still, why would you vote no to that? That's good. I always thought that, at least in terms of tips, the government should never have had their hands in that. A tip is additional is money that people pay for good service. It shows a level of satisfaction. You give your waiter or waitress a decent tip. I mean, hey, you did a great job. Thanks for that. That person shouldn't have to go and report that to the government. Oh, because I do good at my job and I got this much extra money. Here you go, government. Take some of this from me. Let me report this so you can take some from me. Like, the government didn't do anything for that tip. That specific employee did. So, it should have always been no tax on tips, at least. Overtime, fine, I get it. I do agree, though, that there should be no tax on overtime because, again, overtime is, the regular regulation is 40 hours a week. So, that's the contract, if you will, between employee and government and all this. And if you do anything more than that, then it should be for you. You put in that extra effort. You put in that extra time. You sacrifice time with your family or friends or even just by yourself and just to relax and enjoy your own time. So, again, the government shouldn't be digging into, oh, did you work extra? I'm going to need some of that. What's even worse is typically they always say the more you work, the more that you take. So, like, if you work overtime, it kind of hurts you, actually, which is just even more ridiculous. But anyhow, yeah, so one, why would you vote no on that? Two, since Trump put this out there as president, that means it's a federal mandate, if you will. Do states even have the right to say to vote no on that? Like, doesn't federal always override state level things? So if the federal government says we're not doing tax on tips and overtime anymore, doesn't that preside, or is that just in terms of like, the Fed, like on your paycheck, it's got Fed and state? Does that just mean that the Fed no longer will steal anything from overtime and tips, but state still will? If that's the case, well, I guess state can choose to do that, but it's still disgusting. Why would you? Like, way to not care about your citizens at all. It's funny because Democrats are always quick to talk about, oh, we care about affordability and all this, and then here's a plan that'll help out significantly. I mean, geez, think about all the people that work a lot of overtime. No tax and all that overtime would help huge. And these dickbags are, we can't have that. Nope. And then what's even worse, which goes to number 3, is people will still vote for this. People will still vote for our loser governor, Ned Lamont, come November, even though, A, he's been terrible. He's been absolutely useless this whole time. He's done nothing that's, like, noteworthy. I can't think of a single thing this guy's done that's been of any kind of noteworthiness at all. B, he's part of this problem right here, voting no, and yet people will vote for that. How does that make any sense? Oh, we're going to cry about Trump. Oh, I don't understand politics at all because I don't really pay attention. I listen to the Democrat Cliff Notes, so we're going to cry about this stuff. But then something terrible like this comes up, and you're going to just, ignore that and still vote for Ned? Oh, I can't vote Republican because, I don't know, Republicans are bad. I got to vote for Ned again. Like, people will still vote for that. People will still support it and still act like Trump's the bad guy. Even though he's the one that's saying, hey, I'm not going to tax you anymore on your tips and overtime. It just makes no sense. It's just a whole bunch of brain-dead hoopla. Anyhow, I don't think I have too much more to say. I just saw this, and it was just like, I don't know, mind-blowingly bad. And yet people still vote. Ned will probably win again come November. We won't get a Republican in there to actually make the state awesome and turn things around and actually make things better for people. No, we'll stick with this moron because the big cities for some reason are blue because they're too blind. Like, not only do they have the horse blinders on, but they must have, like, severe cataracts as well or something, so they can barely see. Huh? They got to rely on the propaganda that they hear, and of course, a blue state wants to stay blue, so all they hear is, oh, Republicans are bad. Ugh. Trump's bad. Ugh. They can't see for themselves that he's not, and that Republicans aren't. So yeah, so something like this will be able to pass, and the morons that came up with this, the Democrats, will still get the popular vote, which is just ridiculous at how dumb that is. Anyways, I guess that's it. I like to make full 10-minute videos, but this is only 5.5. I got nothing else to say. I just want to point this out. So thanks for listening to this with me, and have a great day. Oops.